John Calvin, on Psalm 29, verses 1 through 8. Give unto the Lord, O ye mighty, give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. The voice of the Lord is upon the waters. The God of glory thundereth. The Lord is upon many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. The voice of the Lord breaketh the cedars. Yea, the Lord breaketh the cedars of Lebanon. He maketh them also to skip like a calf, Lebanon and Sirion like a young unicorn. The voice of the Lord divideth the flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shaketh the wilderness. The Lord shaketh the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. We see how the prophet, in order to subdue the stubbornness of men, shows by every word that God is terrible. He also seems to rebuke in passing the madness of the proud and of those who swell with vain presumption, because they hearken not to the voice of God in his thunders, rendering the air with his lightning, shaking the lofty mountains, prostrating and overthrowing the loftiest trees. What a momentous thing it is that while all the irrational portion of the creation tremble before God, men alone who are endued with sense and reason are not moved. Moreover, though they possess genius and learning, and employ enchantments to shut their ears against God's voice, however powerful, lest it should reach their hearts. Philosophers think not that they have reasoned skillfully enough about inferior causes, unless they separate God very far from his works. It is a diabolical science, however, which fixes our contemplations on the works of nature, and turns them away from God. If anyone who wished to know a man, and should not take notice of his face, but should fix his eyes only on the points of his nails, his folly might justly be derided. But far greater is the folly of those philosophers who, out of meditate and proximate causes, weave themselves veils, lest they should be compelled to acknowledge the hand of God, which manifestly displays itself in his works. Aristotle, in his book on meteors, reasons very shrewdly about these things, in so far as relates to proximate causes, only that he omits the chief point. The investigation of these would indeed be both the profitable and pleasant exercise, were we led by it, as we ought, to the author of nature himself. But nothing is more preposterous than, when we meet with mediate causes, however many, to be stopped and retarded by them, as by so many obstacles, from approaching God. For this is the same as if a man were to remain at the very rudiments of things during his whole life without going further. In short, this is to learn in such a manner that you can never know anything. That shrewdness alone, therefore, is worthy of praise, which elevates us by these means even to heaven, in order that not a confused noise may strike our ears, but that the voice of the Lord may penetrate our hearts, and teach us to pray and serve God.